Author's House.
It's February 27, 2024 at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So we are very excited, Robert, for your masterpiece. It is the From Poster Kid to Millionaire to Songwriter, right?
Yes.
Okay, so our viewers and our readers are very excited for this masterpiece from Robert. So, Robert, could you please tell us a little about yourself?
I grew up for 5 years in Kingston Springs at my grandfather's farm, and my family moved to Nashville. We stayed there for a while. My parents got divorced, and we got sent to a children's home for 2 years, me, my brother, and my sister. After 2 years, we got sent to foster care,
Oh.
and I was there for 10 years. And it was in a rural farm out in the country. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have running water
Mhm.
until 1947, when the war was going on. I grew up on the farm as a farmhand,
Mhm.
doing whatever needed to be done. Milked 5 cows before breakfast and 5 mouths of kids before supper.
So, our listeners right now, and of course the readers, we're very excited to read this masterpiece of yours, Dennis. I just want to know a brief, so can you provide us a general overview of your book from poster kid to millionaire to songwriter without giving away any spoilers?
I wrote the book not for entertainment, but I wrote it to encourage these younger generations, mostly foster kids. Foster kids are looked upon by society as throwaway kids, and they don't expect much out of them after they get aged out. But hopefully, my book will tell them that they can. As a foster kid, the liabilities, when you get out at 18, you can become an asset to the country and to society. And that's what I hope I encourage them to do, to get some courage and enthusiasm and determination and expectation, and be something a whole lot better than what the world expects them to be.
That's really motivating and inspiring, and I'm really excited to read this book. So, what motivates you to write from poster kid to millionaire to songwriter, and what inspired you to share your personal story through a book format?
It inspired me, my lifestyle itself. I told you I was a foster kid, unpaid farmhand. And once I was aged out, I went to work at a private company, and I saw how other people lived. And going to church, I saw how other people lived. Being a foster kid, you had to follow all the rules of children's services, and you had to follow all the rules of the foster families. And we did nothing except what the rules said. There was no action after school for foster kids, but the normal kids, the families foster kids, they got to play ball and do other things. We didn't. I didn't like that lifestyle. And I don't think the foster kids that exist out there now likes the lifestyle they have to live because they have to follow rules. And if you say the wrong thing to the wrong people, you don't know where you'll be next week.
The book of Dennis is really inspiring because you want to capture a market where young generation can actually move into something doing right and something that inspire them to become the better version of themselves. So how your experience as a foster child influence your perspective on life, success, and career choices?
I didn't get a lot of choices. I wanted to go to college when I was aged out, but I was aged out at my graduation from high school. I stood out there on the street. It was good feeling and bad feeling. I had the diploma in my hand, but I didn't belong to anything or anybody. The only folks that wanted me was the church and the army. So I had to go get a job because the foster family agreed to let me stay there as long as I paid them what child services was doing. And I had to go get a job, which I did. First job only lasted 2 months. I was building airplanes. The war ended, and they wanted the contract to last a long time, so they laid off all the last people, which was me. And I went uptown to the State Department, unemployed folks, and they had a place right down the road that they said they thought would fit me. They needed somebody to type invoices, and I could handle that. So I went down, interviewed with the owner's son, and he wanted me to start right that minute. I told him I couldn't do that. They had hog feed in the back of the truck. I had to take it home and milk them cows, but I'd be there Monday morning. I was very lucky his father wasn't there. He watched me Monday as I was typing. He come over when he went to lunch, and introduced himself and told me he thought John hired me too cheap. He gonna give me a raise, a nickel an hour. I thought that's pretty good. Get a raise first day. I stayed there until the Army got me. I moved up in the jobs that they wanted me to do. I went to the Army, come back, they wanted me again. And they put me in all kind of positions of doing one thing, another thing. And eventually I got to be the assistant to our future president, because the fellow that owned it died, and he was elected president, but he wanted somebody to help him because he was doing a whole lot of the work. And he gradually turned everything he did over to me. And I got more responsibility and more money.
Okay. So, Dennis, would you say that your experience actually mold you to become a better version of yourself? So, since that you don't have choices before, you mentioned that, so you have to invest in yourself so that whatever you have, whatever resources you have, you use that to become who you are right now. Is that right?
That gave me a lot of experience, and I worked with a lot of the people who deserved respect, and they had authority. I handled all the government business between our company with the state of Kentucky and the state of Tennessee and Alabama, plus the city of Nashville. I dealt with officials in those governments, and we had no problems. They respected me and I respected them, and we did what the law required.
Mhm.
And when I was working with them in Kentucky, they they invited me to all of their food committees,
Mhm.
which I was the only one there. but they wanted my insight and advice, which I was glad to share with them. And they said, thank you, in the form of making me and my wife both Kentucky colonels. 2 different governors did that. And they also did the same thing in Tennessee. Because my children couldn't go to Kentucky, they had to go to school. My children helped in Tennessee. And that governor made me and my wife and all 3 children Tennessee colonels, which, don't mean anything. It's just to say a thank you. But you dealt with people of standing, commissioners and managers, such. And it makes you a stronger person to be dealing with that type of people.
True. And I totally agree with the experiences. Actually, it turns out a wisdom so that you can share to others how your experiences, and of course making them inspire through your experience and to your wisdom. So thank you, and we are really grateful to that experience that you shared us today. So Dennis, what obstacles did you encounter on your path to success, and how did you overcome them to reach your objectives?
Well, I guess the biggest obstacle I had was getting in the Army when I was aged out, because I went to the Army recruiters to see what they had available when I knew they was going to take me, because I didn't want to be a foot soldier. And they give me a layout there that I could be a maintenance man on a new anti-aircraft gun that they had if I would volunteer for 3 years, which I did. But I found out after I got to Arkansas, they was recruiting 2-year draftees. But before I volunteered, I told them I had a dependent sister, because when my brother was aged out 2 years after I was, Children's Services says, you both have an income now. You're now responsible for your sister's upkeep. So we had to pay for what Children's Services was paying for her upkeep. It wasn't too bad when I had a job, but I got in the Army, I was making $80 a month. And I got to Texas after 3 months in Arkansas, and they told me she would have a Q allowance, whatever that was. That means a dependent gets a check every month. And she hadn't got one. So I went to see the Adjutant General. Adjutant General told me the Army didn't recognize sisters as dependents. So that meant for us to send half of our income back home to take care of our sister. She's still going to school. So I tried to, since they lied to me around, I tried to get released from the Army, but that didn't happen. I turned my congressman and I got to run around and did nothing happen. So I just had to settle down and realize I'm going to have to do my time, do the best I can. That's what I did. And if you read my book, you'll see I got a letter of appreciation when I got to Germany for the job I did, and an apology at the same time on page 47.
Whoa.
Signed by the 3 officers that I served under, because they could not give me the rank and the pay for the job I did, but they sent me a letter of thank you, only one I ever saw in my life from the military. And they apologized for not giving me the rank and the money.
Dennis, can you cite us 3 strategies or formulas on how you overcome obstacles? Because our viewers and our readers are really excited to get to know something personal to the author, especially overcoming obstacles. Can you cite a 3 example on how you overcome?
Well, you've got to do future planning on anything you attempt to do in the future. There's got to be some planning. And you've got to have some determination to get it done. And sometimes it takes a timer and sometimes it don't work. And you have to have another plan in place of it. But you got to have enough determination not to give up.
I like that. So plan and determination, and it arounds like planning and executing the right thing. And once you failed for the first plan, you go plan again and execute it, and determination to succeed. And it's really inspiring because our we want to target more younger age, where we give something to them so that in the future they become the better version of themselves. I really like that, Danny. So can you share some valuable insights or lessons from your book? This is what I like. This is personally a question that I really want to know the answer from you. Can you share some valuable insights or lessons from your book that readers can benefit from, avoiding any spoilers, of course?
I guess my time in the military probably would be that.
Mhm.
I was an enlisted man, and anti-aircraft artillery, doing a job above my rank. And I had to do the job, even though I wasn't supposed to be qualified for it. I did the best I could, and I did it well. And one month they selected me as the Soldier of the Month because of what I was doing in my job. And other troopers, and I was in charge of ammunition. I had 6 trucks to haul that ammunition, and 5 trucks had a ring mount on top to hold 50 caliber machine guns. And every time we had a practice run to get into battle positions, it usually happened at night. Drivers of those trucks come out with 1 barrel to the machine gun, and I'd send them back, and you ain't going with me with a 1 barrel. In case this is real, you need 2 barrels. Get your butt back in there and get that other barrel, which they did. But I read about Korea when the soldiers were coming in a wave and they melt the barrel down, they couldn't shoot. I didn't want anything like that to happen to me. I wanted to be ready. And we did. Because they'd cuss me, but that didn't make any difference. We got the job done. And I got a letter of appreciation for that. You've got to do what's required. It may take extra effort and determination or whatever it needs to be done. You may even need some help sometimes, but there ain't nothing wrong with that. But don't give up.
True.
I served my whole term in the Army.
Amazing. So, it's kind of like if you have a task or a job that has given to you, you have to do your best. And also, you don't need to give up. That is the summary of what I've learned from Dennis. That giving up is not part of the plan. It should be you always continue. You have to make sure that you deliver what expected to you, and if ever you commit mistake, then you continue to stand up and redo it again, because opportunity comes once. So you have to make sure that you really do your best. And what impact do you hope your book will have on readers, particularly those confronting similar obstacles or hardship?
I hope it'll make them to do what's right. There's an old saying, your name will tell me who you are, but what you do will tell me what you are.
Yes.
And hopefully both of them will be the same, that you'll be doing what is right in both areas and determined to do what's right. The country is the worst I ever saw right now. No, nobody's doing what they think that they should do. They're doing what they want to do.
Yeah. So what is important is that we always do what is right, and we always make sure that we're doing and thinking what is right also. And we don't have anyone like we don't do anything bad to others, so that karma will not go back to us or haunt us. So just do what is right for others and respect others. So in reflecting on your transformation from a foster child to your current status, what achievements are you most proud of, and what motivates you to pursue your passion and dreams?
Well, I finished high school. I got a job. I have recognitions from every time period of my life and whatever I did, and it's in the book.
Mhm.
Whether it was at church, I got trophies. I got trophies at work. I got letters from the Army. I got letters from the government and plaques and recognitions of things that I have
Mhm.
done. That was right. That was what I was supposed to do.
Okay. This is a personal question actually coming from you, Robert. So, tell us why we should purchase your book.
The book is written not for entertainment, but it's written for information and encouragement to it. When I look at the title, I was hesitant about putting it from foster kid to millionaire, but I thought that might sell some books and it might encourage other folks to say, if he did, I can do it. And hopefully that would also sell some books. It would be sort of questions in their mind if they wanted to solve.
Mhm.
How did it? I invested money into stocks, and we had a budget when I first married, and I read in my book you need two columns in your budget, one for necessities and one for wants, and you should never buy anything unless you know how you're going to pay for it.
Robert, do you have a message to your readers?
Read it and remember my lifestyle, and thank God every day for something
Mhm.
that's good for you. And I thank him every day for guiding me, my family, and for continue to watch over us and keep us safe.
Okay.
And one thing he's always said, you can achieve anything in life that you set out to do as long as you have a good foundation, and that's God. So as long as God is your foundation, you can achieve anything. And
Perfect.
just because you were born as a foster child does not dictate the life that you must have. If you want to be determined, you can be successful, be hardworking, and this man right here will show you determination, hardworking, believing in God. You can be successful.
Yeah. Perfect. I love that.
Okay, well, let me tell you one more.
Yes.
You've got to have an example and raise up your family according to how you are and how life should be. I couldn't go to college. My three daughters went to college and graduated from college, and they all have a home of their own now. The oldest one was a registered nurse for 34 years. She helped people. Teresa, sitting here next to me, went to college and studied the degree that she wanted to work in. She is vice president and chief financial officer of a private company in Nashville where she works. My youngest daughter, I didn't think she'd ever get out of school. She changed her major 3 or 4 times, wound up with a degree in law, recruited by First American Bank in Nashville, put in charge of
Bankruptcy. Bankruptcy.
bankruptcies. Didn't like that because she thought she was taking away everything them poor people had left. Went back to school. She's an occupational therapist now. She makes a round through 4 different operations of either assisted living and nursing homes, helping those old people be able to do something with their hands and their bodies. And she's happy.
Okay. This is the vital questions that all your readers were gonna, or they've been waiting for. Where can we purchase your book?
Most anywhere books are sold. Amazon has done a great job. Books A Million should have it. Barnes and Noble should have it. Where the department stores or bookstores are, should be available. It's being promoted right now by Authors Publishing Company in Pittsburgh, California. And they're showing it in a lot of book shows. Posting it. It'll be in London, England next month.
Yeah. Okay, last question. So, how was your experience working with Authors Press? Yes.
I hope they create a lot of sales for the books. They have put forth a lot of effort.
Thank you so much, Robert, and the family. So this is not the end of everything, but of course, this is just the beginning of your success by sharing your experiences, wisdom, and the story. So hope to see you again, Robert. And thank you so much. Once again, this is Jacob from Authors Press and wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Authors Press.